Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Napoleon and today we are back with another Enlisted video, and today we have to talk about the latest Enlisted weapon, and that is the BF-109Z1. This is essentially two planes stacked in one, or to be exact, two planes glued together. Essentially, it's pretty unique for all the planes I've seen in World War II. But in today's video, we're going to be talking about the BF-109Z1 and what it is good at. So without further ado, let's just get started. Starting with the history. When the Allies started bombing Germany with strategic targets in 1942, the Luftwaffe was forced on the defensive. This shift created an urgent demand of new heavy fighters and interceptors to counter the growing waves of Allied bombers and their escorts. Messerschmitt was already developing the Me-110 to replace the aging Bf-110s, but President Problem delayed the project. In the meantime, updated versions of the Bf-110s were pressed into service. The Reich Air Ministry, however, proposed further modifications as sought to reduce the number of aircraft variants in production to ease logistics. Drawing inspiration from the earlier HE-111, the Messerschmitt engineers proposed an alternative heavy fighter based on the Bf-109. The idea was simple: combine two Bf-109s into one single machine, with a greater speed than the Bf-110, easier mass production, and lower cost. This approach produced the Bf-109Z0, formed and joined two Bf-109s. However, in 1943, an Allied air raid destroyed the aircraft at their Messerschmitt plant before the testing could begin. The concept survived, however, and by spring of 1944, engineers built a single prototype called the Bf-109Z1. This was, of course, based on the Bf-109G6s. These versions abandoned the air-calibered gun in favor of interchangeable heavy autocannons, reflecting the late shift of German war armament. Ultimately, the worsening resource shortages and Germany's declining war situation, especially the air situation, doomed the project. The twin Bf-109s never advanced beyond the prototype stage, and the Z aircraft remain a fascinating but unrealistic experiment in the Luftwaffe design. And needless to say, we have it in game, and without further ado, let's move on to the stats. This has a crew of 1. It has a 250 kilogram bomb and 4 30mm cannons. Yes, you heard me correct. 4 30mm cannons. It is exactly the same on the 4 30mm cannons as the Messerschmitt Me-262, but unlike the Messerschmitt, this has 260 rounds, whereas the Messerschmitt has, well, 360 rounds. It has a maximum speed of 707, a maximum rate of climb of 27, and a best turn rate of 18. Comparison to the other planes in the game, this is actually pretty dang good. Well, for tier 4, and that is the problem we're gonna get to very, very soon. But compared to other planes, such as the Bf-109K4 and the Bf-109G14, it is slightly in between those planes, and that is not really a good thing for everyone to note. Needless to say, let's move on to the verdict, and the verdict is very simple. This plane is one of those planes in which you do not want to get. It's an event reward that is pretty cool and pretty unique, but please, let me just get it out of the way. This is not one of those planes you want to get. The 4 30mm cannons are very, very devastating against ground targets, especially infantry, but the issue with the one single 250 kilogram bomb isn't. And the reason why is because, well, most planes at this tier have either a 500 kilogram bomb or multiple 250 kilogram bombs, and this only has one. The other issue is that this thing is at tier 4. And the reason why this thing is at tier 4 is such a bad idea is because, number 1, you're going to be facing mostly against tier 5s, and at tier 5s, there are so many better aircraft. For example, the Me-262A1, the Bf-109K4, and of course the Focke-Wulf 190D9, all of which are much better in so many other regards. For example, not only do they have a maximum speed of that is increased, with the exception of the Focke-Wulf 190, but even the best turn time is much better, with the exception, of course, of the Focke-Wulf 190, because that thing has a lot more armament. Needless to say, this plane is an interesting get, but it's not one of those planes in which you should actually get, because it's really not the best. Not to mention, the canopy itself is very hard to see through. For example, you can only look straight and only look at your sides. You really cannot look at the back of your plane, which is something that you can do by holding down C and turning back, which essentially means that you are pretty much going to be, well, blind when you face back, and that is pretty interesting because this plane cannot turn. And because it cannot turn, what it really needs to do to stay alive is to, well, go in straight lines. The only issue is that most planes at this tier are either faster than you or around the same speed, which, considering the idea that this plane will be fighting against tier 5s, in which jets are much faster than you. So that is a problem that a lot of people have realized. Needless to say, this is mainly good against ground attack. Only attack infantry or light tanks or tanks with a single direct 250 kilogram bomb hit. And if that does not work, please do not try to dogfight because you're either going to be outturned, and or if you want to dogfight, only hit them when you completely sure that you can hit them. Or to be exact, when you're completely right behind them and they do not see you coming. The reason why I say that is because the 4 30mm cannons can just shred any plane off the bat. So needless to say, have a great day guys, and I'll see you in the next one.